But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul.
After I beat Mike Tyson, the amount of people saying this is rigged was crazy.
And I can break his mentality, then I've broken Jake. So this is why it's going to be an interesting fight, because I just don't look at it from a physical standpoint.
Stephen A. Smith reportedly reacted with disbelief after Mike Tyson and Anthony Joshua accused Jake Paul of attempting to offer bribes. Smith said boxing has hit a breaking point and argued that the sport must put an end to what he called these ridiculous spectacles. He claimed that Paul turns fights into scripted business transactions rather than legitimate competition, suggesting that his gloves should be taken away. According to Smith, this conduct disrespects genuine fighters and seriously undermines boxing's credibility on a global scale.
Things that I'm talking about here. Boxing's a skill. Let me give y'all an example. Remember Francis Ngannou? Remember that monster? That Nigerian nightmare? Remember him? And then we saw him show up and show a little skill against Tyson Fury, who came there out of shape. What happened when he got into the ring with Anthony Joshua? He got put to sleep, much in the same way Nate Robinson got put to sleep. Boxing is a skill.
Anthony Joshua has made his position unmistakably clear. When asked whether he would go easy on Jake Paul or agree to any special conditions, AJ flatly rejected the idea. He emphasized that he only competes in real fights with no compromises, stating that as a world champion he cannot afford to jeopardize his legacy with gimmicks or scripted outcomes. Joshua made it clear he will never sacrifice the integrity of boxing for entertainment or money.
Jake, what I learned about Jake is, so when you look at the physicality stuff, and as you said, he's looking at my chest, I think Jake is someone where I got to beat him mentally because he's a mental person. This is my observation. A lot of what Jake's preparation is based around is not only the physical aspects of training, but the way he thinks, meditation, breath work. And if I can break his soul and I can break his mentality, then I've broken Jake. So this is why it's going to be an interesting fight, because I just don't look at it from a physical standpoint. I know the person that's in front of me, and I know that I got to break it. That's what I said, I got to take his soul. It's not just physical, I got to take your soul in the ring.
Only person that can do that is God.
I knew he was going to say that.
Is he f***ing with your brain?
No, I don't know. That's what I was going to ask, is how do you plan on doing that? Like, when is it going to start?
Because everything...
I mean, obviously in the fights it's different, you know? But, I mean, when are you going to start taking it?
I've just seen in fights when I can see someone's, let's call it energy, frequency leaving their body. And that's what my goal is to do the same to you. You have that instinct. You can see it. When you're fighting, you can just see a small glimmer of someone that's just about to start fading. And then you just keep exploiting that, keep exploiting that until some people will give up. Some people get knocked out. We'll figure out. But as I said, for me, it's not just going in there and being dominating physically. I want to break him down spiritually and mentally.
That's some deep boxing.
Mike Tyson reportedly claimed that Jake Paul tried to script parts of their fight. Tyson explained that money was never a motivating factor for him, noting that he is already financially secure and that the bout would not affect his lifestyle in any way. He said he agreed to return to the ring one final time for personal reasons alone. According to reports, Tyson did not fight for profit and firmly pushed back against any effort to manipulate or control the outcome.
Away from
this fight is not going to change my lifestyle financially. I'm a fighter. I feel good. I can do it. I feel I can beat this guy.
Come on. Well, we're going to be in the building. I'm going to be there. Speaking of the exhibition with Roy, like, when that exhibition happened, man, I felt like it was two of my...
Joe Rogan has spoken about what he sees as a recurring pattern in Jake Paul's boxing career. According to Rogan, Jake often selects opponents who may be physically larger but are strategically safer choices in other respects. He believes these matchups are deliberate rather than coincidental. Rogan argues that such fighters bring enormous name recognition and public attention, which benefits Jake regardless of the actual sporting result. Pointing to Mike Tyson as an example, Rogan notes that legendary figures draw huge audiences simply by entering the ring. As a result, entertainment and hype tend to outweigh true competition. Rogan suggests that many of these fights appear to be slanted in Jake's favor, prompting fans to question whether they are legitimate contests or carefully orchestrated events aimed at maximizing profit and exposure.
Different thing with that guy.
Well, it's like Matt always says, play to your strengths.
Yeah,
no
but
doubt.
you know, you got to take that payday. I mean, what did he make out of that fight? He probably made $10 million or something.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's
Bigger than,
the only
younger
time
than.
he fought another boxer his size was
He
Tom
lost.
Fury, and he lost. Tom Fury?
Good fight.
Tommy Fury.
Very
Tommy
good
Fury,
fight. Very good fight. You know, I think he's like any other young up-and-coming boxer. It's just everybody dismisses him because he's a YouTuber.
For sure. It's easy to dismiss him, but I was there when he knocked out Tyron, and I was like, man, I'm done with this kid. I never wanted to corner another fight in my life, man. I was like, yo, he just knocked my boy flat out on his face, man.
Jake Paul has pushed back strongly against the allegations, dismissing them as completely false. He argues that people are inventing narratives because they resent his success. According to Jake, claims that his fights are scripted are simply excuses from critics who refuse to acknowledge his development as a boxer. He points out that boxing commissions regulate these events and would never permit any form of illegal manipulation. Jake maintains that every opponent enters the ring by choice and that his wins come from hard training and dedication. He believes the ongoing accusations only show how much he has disrupted the boxing world and forced traditional fans to face a new reality they are reluctant to accept.
Mike Tyson, the amount of people saying this is rigged was crazy. They like showed this clip of Mike Tyson going to swing at me with a left hook, and he like stopped doing it, but saw I had my right hand up. So he would have like swung like this, I catch it and shoot. He's leaning forward like I could have knocked him out. So that's why he stopped throwing it. And it's like they play this one clip and it has literally 50 million views on TikTok, but the average.
The Jake Paul Anthony Joshua matchup quickly revealed a serious and dangerous mismatch from the very start. Former UFC champion Michael Bisping reacted forcefully, stating that Jake Paul was nowhere near the standard needed to compete with an elite heavyweight like Joshua. He described the fight as a clear demonstration of real professional boxing, where timing, skill, and experience determine the outcome. Joshua's punches were sharp and powerful, laying bare the wide gap in class between them. Bisping emphasized that the result was unavoidable, as Paul simply did not possess the defense, tools, or ring awareness required to withstand a world-class boxer at that level.
No, that wasn't the case at all. What we saw, in my humble opinion, because I'm a big Anthony Joshua fan. Of course, I've been a supporter for the longest time. A rather lackluster, unmotivated Anthony Joshua that didn't look like he was being particularly nasty, right? A lot of the time, he was out of range, and okay, it is hard to land a shot on someone that's back.
Critics say influencer boxing has fundamentally altered the sport's foundation. With YouTubers and celebrities stepping into the ring, the emphasis has shifted away from technique and legacy toward views, hype, and revenue. Many believe matches are now driven more by marketing appeal than actual skill. Boxing, once defined by discipline and technical mastery, is increasingly seen as secondary to promotional strategy. While these events generate huge profits through sponsorships and streaming deals, they also fuel claims that financial success matters more than the outcome itself. To traditional fans, influencer boxing feels less like genuine competition and more like staged entertainment where influencers simply happen to wear boxing gloves.
It's pretty rigged overall.
Yes, Rick, dude. I mean, so many politics, even with, MMA, man, there's so many politics. There's no more art anymore. It's just, let's get an influencer in there. I get it. It's like generating money because our attention span is so short. You look at clips now, it's like 7 seconds. I saw a dude slamming a lady the other day and they were like, oh my God, that dude is, I'm like, well, what the do? I'm just gonna pick somebody and slam them. Where's the whole video? And our attention span is just so small. So money talks, of course. Yeah, let's get an influencer in there who has no style, but it.
The Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight has drawn heavy criticism from both fans and analysts. Many felt the bout appeared unnatural and overly controlled, which made it especially difficult to accept given Tyson's legacy as one of the most feared fighters in boxing history. Viewers questioned why Tyson seemed restrained and why key moments that could have shifted the fight never unfolded. For critics, the match represents everything they believe is wrong with influencer boxing, reinforcing the idea that legendary fighters are being used to legitimize modern spectacles rather than engage in authentic competition. As more footage circulates, scrutiny has only intensified. Observers point to instances where aggression looks muted and the pacing seems calculated, creating a rhythm that doesn't align with expectations of genuine, high-stakes boxing. This has fueled deeper suspicion that the event was structured to protect certain narratives. While no concrete evidence of wrongdoing exists, these visual cues have been enough to keep debate alive. The fight has since become a reference point in discussions about scripted bouts, further amplifying public doubts surrounding Jake Paul's most prominent matchups.
Is currently being sued over their Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. And it's not because people think the fight was rigged, though I have questions, and that's what we'll get into. It's because it didn't work, and a lot of people were buffering and unable to watch it despite signing up to pay for it. Now, the bigger question I have about this fight is, how come no one is suing over the fight being rigged? There's a lot of questions, and there's evidence piling up that suggests it may have...
Nakisa Bidarian moved to push back against the criticism, firmly rejecting any claims of scripting or manipulation. He stated that such behavior would be illegal and impossible under professional boxing regulations. Bidarian also argued that Jake Paul performed better in several rounds than the judges acknowledged. According to him, criticism and losses are simply part of the sport, particularly when a fighter has widespread popularity. He believes Jake has continued to gain supporters despite the backlash, adding that negativity often increases with fame and that Jake's growing profile naturally invites controversy, regardless of the facts.
Against Anthony Joshua.
So that would have meant, 3-2 for Joshua heading into the 6th round, which again, a lot of people thought that he would dispose of him rather quickly. Can you give us an update on how he's doing? We know that he broke his jaw in multiple places, 2 places to be exact, and I believe he has revealed that he's had surgery since. How is he doing? How is he feeling?
He's doing great. Obviously, there's periods of time during the day where there's a lot of pain.
Jake Paul's behavior leading up to the Tyson fight became another point of suspicion for critics. Before entering the ring, he publicly stated that he already knew he would win. While confidence is normal in combat sports, many felt his certainty went beyond belief in preparation. His calm tone and unwavering assurance led some observers to feel that the outcome seemed predetermined in his mind. To skeptics, this appeared less like competitive confidence and more like someone expecting events to unfold exactly as planned. After the fight, Jake's reactions further fueled doubt. His body language suggested satisfaction rather than the relief or exhaustion typically seen after a demanding bout. Fans contrasted this with traditional fighters, who often show a visible emotional release following a hard-earned battle. That difference deepened suspicions that the fight carried little real risk. While supporters viewed his demeanor as composure and maturity, critics interpreted it as evidence that the contest lacked genuine uncertainty.
Mike Tyson, successful. That's a really interesting choice, because it is a choice. And if you look at 90% of fights out there and you ask the person what's going to happen, they speak about what they're going to do physically. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to give him a beating. I'm going to win. Something about their capacity physically. But this is Mike Tyson successful. And if you really think about that, if you look at this fight and look at the
Paulie Malignaggi offered a different perspective, suggesting the issue may be financial motivation rather than a fixed fight. He argues that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s low punch output likely reflected poor preparation, not scripting. Malignaggi explains that when fighters step into the ring primarily for money, their competitive drive often fades. Without genuine hunger to win, performance naturally declines. This view shifts criticism away from Jake Paul while still highlighting systemic issues in influencer boxing, suggesting the sport can incentivize fighters to show up for paychecks rather than pride or legacy.
A couple of shocking results. I think that Jake Paul undercards and the promotional arm of his brand, I think, is the most fun part of what Jake Paul brings to boxing. Honestly, I think long term, I think that's what we can hold hope for. Because Jake's fights are, this one was borderline atrocious, and kind of the writing was on the wall. But I gotta admit, even I bought drank the Kool-Aid, and mainly I drank the Kool-Aid because Chavez Sr., who also...
That wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.